This is a Looney Studios podcast. Hello and welcome to Aerde Talks. I'm Hunter Looney, the Game Master, and this show is here to dive deeper into the world of Aerde, which is traversed in Aerde Tales. Today we'll be discussing the genus of nymphs, which includes elementals, Matagaigas, Dryads, and some more. The first one, let's talk about the Bakrus, which is spelled Bakrus. And these are individuals that are average height about 1 foot 6 inches, average lifespan 125, max lifespan 150. And these individuals, their skin is made up of wood. They generally have some foliage like growing off of them as well, some leaves and such. And they eat, they're exutivores, and also they can eat via photosynthesis. So they can eat gum, sap, etc., like from other plants and stuff, but then they can also acquire nutrients via photosynthesis. So these are about 1 foot 6 tree-skinned individuals. And then we have dryads, which are also wood-skinned, tree-skinned, whatever. They have wood for skin. Individuals, but their average height is 5 foot 2 inches. And these individuals also can have some leaves growing off of them, and some other things. And their average lifespan is 225 years, and their max lifespan is 250. They also can eat gum and sap and stuff like that from other plants, and can also accrue nutrients through photosynthesis. So now let's look at the species of elementals, and specifically we're going to look at, they have a subspecies called alumas in Aerde, which these individuals are, they have different, they're of different elemental backgrounds and stuff like that. So these individuals, the alumas, are average height 6 foot 4 inches, average lifespan 95, and then their diet, they're pranarians, breatharians, and nadias, whatever you want to say, is that they sustain themselves off of the planet's like life force and stuff like that. They sustain themselves off their own life force. They don't need food and such. Their digestive system isn't very, they can eat things if they like, and there's some sect of them that will like actually eat a bunch of things and stuff and have started diverging from the others, but most of them sustain themselves off of the specific element in that they are in the world. So you have like fire or magma alumas, you have ground or sand alumas, ice or snow, lightning or electricity, water, wind or air. All of these alumas, like, their average height is about 6 foot 4 with those different types. Then we also have naiads, which these individuals are just like, they have the same as the alumas of the different groupings of the different elements and stuff like this, but these individuals their average height is 4 feet, and their lifespan is a little shorter. Average lifespan is about 85. Same thing, they sustain themselves off of the specific elements in the world that are out there and stuff, but it just they're shorter. Their subspecies is shorter. Then we have nixies, which their average height is about 1 foot and 1 inch. lifespan is even shorter at 75, the average lifespan. Still the same as the Alumas and the Naiads, which they have that those different groupings of elements: fire, magma, ground, sand, ice, snow, etc. But these are just shorter individuals in that grouping. So then we have the Limonids, which some people it's Limoneads, and these individuals are individuals that they're kind of like they live amongst like a lot of flowers and fields and stuff like that. They whereas, like, let's say the individuals that have the wood skin and stuff like that generally live in the forest, these individuals generally live out in like fields and pastures and with a bunch of flowers and whatnot. And their average height is 5'4", average lifespan 220. They can feed off of flowers. They're florivores or photosynthesis. These individuals generally have greenish skin or and have some leaves and stuff growing off of them and whatnot. And can, like I said, do photosynthesis as well. And generally live out in fields and stuff with a bunch of flowers and whatnot. So then we have the Matabiris, which are their average lifespan is 175 years, and their average height is 3'5". And these individuals generally live in swamps areas and stuff like that. These are exudivores as well, where they eat gum and sap, but can also do photosynthesis. These individuals generally have like moss and fungus growing off of them, and spend their time mainly in swamps and wetter areas like that. And so think of somebody that's like 3'5" tall, and then has some fungus and moss growing all over them and stuff, and has greenish skin. So then we have the Matagaigas, which are they have wood skin as well, but they're 6 inches tall, and average lifespan is 107 years. Exudivores again, eat gum, sap, etc. Can also do photosynthesis, have wood skin. Then we go to the really big, the Sucums, which are 9 feet tall on average, and are wood-skinned individuals, so big tree-like people. Average lifespan 225. Same thing, can eat gum, sap, exudivores. They're also can eat via photosynthesis. These are huge tree people. And then lastly we have the Velas, which these are individuals that they're human-like. Their average height is about 5'7". They look kind of like humans. Their average lifespan is 134 years, though. And these individuals, generally, they're fungivores, which means they can eat fungus and stuff. And instead of like photosynthesis in daylight, they feed off of moonlight. And so they generally are nocturnal, will come out at night, when the moon's out. They'll feed, and they generally guard over forests and fields and stuff like that in the nighttime and stuff. So that brings us to the end of this episode of Aerde Talks. On the next episode of Aerde Talks, we'll dive deeper in the sentient species of air, specifically the genus of Orynths, which include fairies, gargoyles, harpies, and some more. But let's take care of some housekeeping. Our adventurers encounter magical items, and I want to invite everyone to visit patreon.com/Looney Studios. The link's in the description, and on that front page there's a link to a Google form where anyone can submit an idea for a magical item. Anyone can do this. You don't have to be a patron. And you can do it anonymously or put your name or username on it if you want us to credit you if we use it. Please add to this list. It's one of our favorite things, is seeing all the magical items that people come up with and incorporating them in if we can. Some of them end up being a little too overpowered. But while you're there, also check out the Looney Studios Patreon. And if you become a patron, you gain access to the podcast early, among other perks. And speaking of Patreon, I'd like to thank our patrons and thank you for supporting us. It helps us cover some of the cost of some of the subscriptions and whatnot that we need to continue to help Looney Studios and ERTels function. Looney Studios can be found at looneystudios.com and at the social media platforms listed in the description. Please give a review on your favorite podcasting site, like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, and submit magical items on our Patreon. The Looney family hopes that you have a wonderful day. That was a Looney Studios podcast.